then I'm sure we'll have some people wander in. In case somebody listens to this after the fact, I'm Lucretia, and this is Raven from Raven and Rowley. Rowley. Correct, Rowley?
Rowley.
Raven and Rowley. And we're going to be talking about a few things here today. Raven, I've interviewed once. She is a intermittent, would you call it intermittent traveler, intermittent nomad?
At this point, yes. I believe I'm going to be full-time around November.
Oh, wow. That's coming up here. Well, we do have one person. I'd like to say hello to Travel Grandma. Thank you for coming, Elaine. Glad you're here. There's just a couple of us. We're just chatting right now about, of all things, we've veered away from our travel to our regular life stuff, such as weight loss. And I want to, there's Alberta, and Stella. Hello, Alberta and Stella. Glad you're here. Thank you for coming. And feel free to share out this stream to your own social media if you so would like to. So yeah, we're talking travel. We're going to talk all things Raven and Rowley and life. So do you want to introduce yourself, Raven, and maybe tell these ladies a little bit about what brought you here today? So what brought you here today was our mutual travel interest, and there's a whole lot more. Do you want to tell the group that's wandering in here about how you became interested in traveling?
Oh, actually, I don't know. I became, let me see. I think I started out because I was living in a sticks and bricks that I couldn't afford anymore, and was looking for a different way to live, and came across Cheap Art Living and Bob Wells, and started investigating that, and ended up leaving the house and moving into a 35-foot Class A, and I drove 3,300 miles cross country because I wanted to get to Nevada in order to establish a domicile, and then I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. So I really wasn't prepared as much as I thought I was prepared. But since I did that, I now live in a fifth wheel, 26-foot fifth wheel, and I'm converting a cargo trailer so that into a tiny house so that I can travel, because why not? I'm free all of a sudden, I don't have to take care of anybody. I don't have to do anything if I don't feel like it. And why sit in the house and look at the four walls? So that's why I'm out here.
Oh, cool. So you established your domicile in Nevada, correct? And are you still in the Nevada area?
I am still in the same place. When I came to this park that I'm in, I expected to be here for 30 days so that I'd establish domicile and then go wherever, do whatever. I've been here 5 years. It's time to get out. I mean, it's a 5-star resort. It's a beautiful place. It's wonderful. It's got everything you could possibly want. I don't want to be here. What can I tell you? It's like being on a cruise ship, After a while, you know everybody and you know everything, and it's time to move on.
Right. Well, so you're going to leave that. So the fifth wheel you're in it's there to stay. It's not something you travel with, correct?
Right. Yes, I can't. It's not roadworthy.
All right.
So
and
when I leave, okay. When I leave, I'm going to put it in storage here and just travel for a year. Try and save up some bucks and figure out what to do after that. But I think it's time. I'm 78 years old and I haven't seen the Grand Canyon. There's a lot of stuff I haven't seen.
Yes, I understand that. I understand that. That's one of the draws for me as well, is seeing things in this country I've never seen. I haven't seen most of it. As a matter of, you said Grand Canyon, my little sister Priscilla is here. And several years ago, she happened to be in Arizona with our father. They traveled down there in order to be with another sister who had had a hysterectomy. And so it was my father and my two sisters, and our oldest sister and our youngest sister. And they traveled and they were down there and they were headed back, but they were going to be able to go to the Grand Canyon that none of them had seen, including our father, who at the time was probably in his late 60s or early 70s, because he died at 94. So he might have been his early 70s. And they were going to the Grand Canyon, and our oldest sister could not, because she had her own issues with health, get herself around early enough, literally, for them to be able to leave a motel room to get to the Grand Canyon. And trust me, my little sister, even though our sister Linda has passed on, our oldest sister, our little sister definitely remembers that with not a happy thoughts for Linda, you know, that she wasn't able to get around. And our father didn't get to see it either. It had started snowing. And my dad, our dad was not, you know, he just did not want them to go there in the snow. So he was still in charge, even though they were, you know, old enough to think for themselves. Priscilla says it was in 2003. So it's been a while. Snowstorm. Yep. A snowstorm. So we
had snow this morning.
Oh, really? It's going to be cold here for the
Yes.
next several days.
This is crazy. This is Southern Nevada.
So you've got
and they say there's no such thing as global warming.
The weather is really unstable right now. Really unstable. Mm-hmm. So you have a cargo trailer you're converting. What's the size of it?
6 by 12.
Oh, okay. And how far are you doing all the work yourself, or you having to have somebody help you out?
No, I'm doing it myself. I don't have those kind of bucks.
Wow.
You know.
I very much respect that, because I was just thinking, and I was telling my son-in-law, and you've always been pretty open about your age, that you're in your 80s, correct?
Not quite. I'll be 79 this year. I'm 78 right now.
But still, Raven, I'm 60, and I'm oh my God, I could do it, but it would be pushing me hard to do it.
Yes, it does. And it's probably a good thing, because I had not realized how weak I had become. I tried to pick up an end table. There's a fairly heavy end table a couple of weeks ago. And I said, this is something that I would have done without thinking about before, but it was a strain. You know, so it's time.
I have to think about everything I choose to do. I'm recovering from a back surgery. It's been a couple months now, and I still have to think about, if I'm going to pick something up, I am going to have to think about it to know. Would you mind coming and letting the dog out? So let's say hello to a couple people. Fairy Dust, Fairy Duff Weep the Wild Winds, Naj or Quee. Thank you, Naj, for coming. Roy and Becky's Travels. Love Roy and Becky. Let's see if I've missed anybody on here. I think I have said hello to everybody. So do you mind just veering off for a minute into the health and fitness? Okay. Because you have another channel as well, correct?
Yes, I have Fat to Thin Senior R and Life.
Because somebody
I had
okay. And I'm going to have someone drop the link to that. I know I've got a couple people in here capable of doing that. we
Rowley,
we were talking about health and fitness, and health and fitness being an issue for many of us. I don't know about you guys, but it is for me. And Raven was just talking about being healthier, being stronger. One moment. Go ahead, Patty Cake. Go outside, please. How as you get older, as we age, things can become, not for everybody, but I don't know anybody that it doesn't become a little harder for. And even if they are fit, things still change, or bodies change and whatnot. And you have the other channel that you started out with, and so you just were sharing about starting to use some weights in order to kind of help build some strength. You want to share about that?
Well, I think not only will it help build the strength, but I also think that it'll raise my metabolism so that it won't be so difficult to keep this weight off. I had the RNY surgery. They take a piece of they take out your stomach and leave you about that much of it, and reroute your intestines and a whole bunch of other things to hook up to it. And I lost a lot of weight really fast, but the body is a wonderful thing, and we'll try and get back to what it knew before, which was, in my case, like close to 300 pounds, if not more. Mm-hmm. And so I'm finding it difficult to maintain this weight loss, even though I eat a lot differently than I used to. And I believe that it's doing a lot of cardio isn't helping me any. I've been walking a minimum of 2 miles every day for the last 3 years, and it does nothing to maintain this weight. And I believe that building muscle will assist in maintaining the weight, as well as getting me stronger. I mean, I didn't realize how weak I had become, how off balance my walking had been, how down the hill I was going,
Sure. And notice that in one of your videos, you were putting up your own tent, as a matter of fact. Did you erect that tent by yourself?
I never did.
Okay. You slept in your car.
I slept in my car. And when I finally did get the tent, the 2 times that I did have that tent erected, other people helped me. I could not do it myself. And yes, I did sleep in the car on that one occasion. But I haven't put up the tent since then because I started working on the cargo trailer. Mm-hmm.
So doing it, if you had to do a tent, you either couldn't do it or it would take quite a while to put it up yourself, correct?
I could not do it.
You could not do it. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so the idea of traveling by yourself, do you have any concerns about that? Because does it concern you to be traveling alone, and whether you're physically strong enough, or are you going to wait until you're a little stronger to do that?
I'm going to wait a little bit longer until I can get my car fixed.
Okay.
And I'm going to run.
You're ready to go.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm seriously ready.
What are you going to be traveling in?
I have a Dodge Durango 1999. I named her Princess after Prince did the song 1999 because of a party I went to in 1999. And she's Dodge Durango, and I use her to pull the 6x12 cargo trailer. But it's got active leak in it, and it's old.
Yeah.
And it needs some work. And as soon as I get that work done, we're out of here.
So you were talking like November-ish, somewhere around November you're leaving?
November is my deadline. I run out of money.
Okay.
That's it.
So you're on the road in November. Have you had an opportunity to kind of plan out where you want to go first, or are you just going to a Y in the road and flipping a coin, left or right?
Pretty much, although I'm a destination driven person. So I was thinking of getting a senior pass for the state parks in Nevada. It's only $30 for a senior for every state park. And I would do state parks for a while. I'd do BLM land for a while and just roam around and just see what I can see. I have a thing. I like to go to museums and small town museums, things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever turns up.
Right. Well, the small town America is what I really enjoy seeing. A little bit that we have been able to travel so far. Those little museums or the little roadside attractions. I know that if we can get everything settled the way I would like to have it settled and be comfortable in traveling, fall sometime or early winter is when I would like to go back out, leave for a longer period of time. At this point, the Sticks and Bricks will be is our what do you call it? Oh gosh, my
home base.
Home base.
Home base. Okay.
I should have remembered that, having been a catcher for 8 years of my life. Home base. Yeah. So for now, it's home base. And there may come a day when there isn't a home base. So you're thinking that the cargo trailer, once it's converted, are you putting windows in it?
I would love to. I don't happen to have any at this time. I've been putting some as I get it. So things are going kind of backwards. I don't have insulation on walls other than the moving mats. I've noticed though, let me start here. I put insulation on the ceiling. Someone gave me some Thinsulate, and I put double moving mats onto the walls. And yesterday it was 55 degrees inside, and it was 48 outside with a 24-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So I think that was pretty good insulation considering what it is. Mm-hmm. And I know from when I went to the RTR and the WRTR, I stayed for 12 days, and it went down to 43 degrees at night, that a little heater would keep that place perfectly fine. In fact, a little bit too hot. So I think the insulation is good.
So you're going to be chasing the perfect temperature of 70?
I'm looking for 70 degrees, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm chasing 70 degrees.
Naj recommends you get a national park pass so you can go see all the national parks.
I have a national park pass. I got one of the last national park passes that was permanent. Once you get it, you got it for life. Now they sell it. They sell it by the year.
Oh boy!
And I think I got mine on the last day that I could have possibly gotten it. So
I need
for the
to look
state
into
park,
that myself.
Yeah,
What's it?
For the state park, Nevada State Park, it's $30 a year if you're a senior. Otherwise,
and you said that's for all? That's for all
of the state parks in Nevada. In Nevada.
Okay. I know that also in New Mexico is one of the channels that I follow. She got one for New Mexico, and it was just bought that pass, and it was just for all the state parks. It was just one fee.
Right. Yeah.
It does.
Why not?
Let's say hello to Maria Davis. Thank you so much for coming in, Maria. Hi. Hi, Maria. She is your daughter. Well, you have a wonderful mom. Very insightful lady. I always learn stuff from you when this is our second interview together, or chat. I don't even call it an interview. It's a chat, and I do always learn something from you. So traveling in your car, tell us how that works out for you. Is there things that you have learned to change over the times you've done it, or not?
The bed was the big thing. I'm still fighting for the right bed. it it's a terrible thing to wake up in the bed, rolling off the bed, or rolling up against the wall, or falling into a cloud and having like hardness underneath. It's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, having a hi baby. Um, so now I've actually made a platform in the cargo trailer for the bed, and I haven't slept on it yet, but I've laid on it, and it appears to be very comfortable. So I'm hoping that that's finally it, because sleeping in the car was a terrible thing on my back for about 2 weeks for that one night of sleeping in it.
Oh.
I've slept on cots in the cargo trailer. I've slept in cots in the tent. I only did the tent to find out if I even liked camping. I didn't even know, because it's not something I did. No, you don't want to do that. Then I got a steel bed frame, and that was horrible. That was terrible. So I'm hoping I got a good bed. But so far, that's really the only thing that really bothered me in the clutter. Seems to be you gotta be organized. You gotta put stuff where it needs to go, where it's supposed to go every time you take it out and put it back. But the bed was a big thing.
I was told
So
when
anyway.
we were working towards making our first adventure out, I was told, make sure that your bed is comfortable, because if it is not, if you don't have a comfortable bed, you will hate it. And I luckily it is comfortable. We have twin beds in our RV. It did not come with a walk around queen. It came with twins, which we can live with for the time being, though we do know this is not our forever RV. If I'm going to be on the road for the rest of my life, that's all right. That's my son-in-law dropping the plates in the sink. If we're going to be on the road for any period of time, we have to, to make sure we found out what we didn't like. Like, you probably have found out things you really need, and we found out things, the difference between what is a need and what is something we just want.
Right.
Maria says you have to be comfortable. You have to test the bed out. Test the bed out. You have to be comfortable. Test the bed out. Yes.
Yeah.
And Fairy Dust. Let's see. Fairy Dust says I bought a day bed at Living Spaces that has a black frame where it helps me to get up by holding on, and I can hang pouches all around it in the pocket for remote control, one pocket for my glasses, etc. Good idea.
Yes.
So this summer,
Go ahead.
So your summer travel, what was your summer? I know that you went at least once. Where did you go, and how did that all turn out for you?
Well, the last place I went was the WRTR with the Women's Caravan in Quartzsite, Arizona. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, except for the bed. It was a lot of fun. I was tired, and I was glad when I got back to my bed here at the house, but just to get a decent night's sleep. But if I hadn't run out of propane, or if I had more dog food with me or some more toilet tissue, I would have stayed longer. And as it was, I stayed out there 12 days. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
So people were really welcoming and warm, is what it looked like to me.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. The first day I got there, I pulled up and I said, let me sit down for a minute. And I stuck my chair outside the door and was kind of soaking in the sun. And the next thing I knew, I had a half a dozen women sitting around me, brought the chairs over, came, sat down. Hi, I'm whatever. And we talked for the next 4.5 hours until I realized I really needed to go to the bathroom. But it was amazing. It was wonderful. I don't think I've ever met that many people that fast before. Um, you go places and you don't think you're going to meet anybody, or you're not going to talk to anybody or anything, but it was every day, all day. Somebody came over to talk. Somebody, you went over and talked to somebody else. The the fire pits at night they were too big to talk to the whole group, but talking to people next to you
Uh-huh.
was terrific, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I also got
There's
a lot of
there's a lot of
inspiration.
wise women. There's a lot of wise women
Yes,
out there that know how to
yes,
do nomad.
yes, yes, absolutely. And I've sort of seen women who are living in these tiny, tiny, tiny little cars. Those little two-seater thingies. I don't know how they
Yeah.
stretch out in them. But living in that, I met a woman who was living with her daughter. She was about 3 in her
Hmm.
car. There were
Oh.
women living in their vans, from Mercedes down to whatever,
Hmm.
Fords, uh, you know, and people, living in it. It was amazing. It was amazing how everybody had managed to make a home wherever they were living,
Right.
managed to make a home and be happy doing it.
Hmm. Well, I think that one of the things that I like about what Cheap RV Living, which is Bob's website, and that is the only reason I know any of you really, because if I'd have never seen him and listened to him for a year, like a solid, I'd
Right.
say a solid year of
Yeah.
all day, every night, all day, every night,
Mhm.
just watching his videos, I would have never veered off and found anybody else. You know how that works. I mean, you
Right.
see him, and then all of a sudden there's Box Van D, and Box Van D led me to somebody else, and that person led me to a guy who every single morning, every single morning, well, 6 days a week for sure, and I think Sundays at some point did a morning talk show. And so it was definitely, and then I'd write down the names of everybody there, and then I would go to their channel and I would friend them. I'd become a friend to them, and then that's how I eventually got, you know, a channel together. That very, which is a whole different element of what we do. So you know that you're going to be doing some work with your travel, having the cargo trailer
Right.
and your truck, your Durango. It's being finished up. Tell us about how you work with your channel. What have you done to build your channel or to do whatever it is you're doing with it? Because everybody does it different.
Right. I started the channel both channels actually, just to kind of keep myself on the straight and narrow,
Uh-huh.
to keep a record, like a diary. Um,
Oh.
and I started getting some really friendly, terrific responses, comments, and things like that. And it's kind of
Mhm.
progressed to not only just keeping a record for myself, but to just show people that this is possible. You can live well, living cheaply. You can.
Yeah.
I mean, I've owned like 5 different sticks and bricks houses,
Uh-huh.
and every single time I was house rich and my pocketbook poor. And every time I turned around, there was more taxes and there was more bills and there was more everything. And I've gotten to the point where why am I doing that? Why the American dream sucks big time. Uh, who wants to do that? Who wants to be in debt for their entire life? I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And not and do what? Sit in the house and look at the 4 walls because you can't do anything else. So why not? And
Hmm.
I find that the people I've met anyway, they're happy doing that. I can't say that I've met any who actually came out in on the road because they had to, who didn't ultimately enjoy doing that and would never go back to sticks and bricks. So
I've heard that story repeatedly. And people who really have the
Yes.
money to live in a sticks and bricks and have no problem paying for the utilities every month and the taxes or whatever, but they choose for a number of reasons to get a living situation on the road that's comfortable for them, whether it be a car or it be a travel trailer or a cargo trailer, or in our case, it's a Class C. And they go and they never come back.
Right.
It becomes addicting.
They're just right. Yeah, I'm not getting rid of this 26-foot fifth wheel. During that time of travel, I'm going to put it in storage because I do believe in having some kind of a home base.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I buy a piece of land and stick it on there as an instant house or not, But I don't want to just sit here and stare at the four walls. I need to get out.
Sure.
And my biggest problem right now is what the heck am I going to do with my guitar? Where am I going to put it? I have no space in the trailer for the guitar. So I'm thinking maybe I should carry it in the car, but I can't leave it in the car because it'll get too hot. And that's a terrible problem to have. That is one of those, what we call first world problems, I believe someone would say to me. That's a first world problem, Lucretia. But you're right. But it's something that makes you happy. Do you like and do you use that guitar? Oh, I haven't been using it. The thing is that it's always been stuck in the corner somewhere, the way it's difficult to get to and all of that. Right. And I really I used to play, so I really get back to it. Well, and I could see me out in the desert. I could see me out in the forest playing my guitar, playing it to the trees, playing to the water. Yeah, I could do that.
Well, so I noticed that there's other people who have so I believe Travel Grandma and Box Van D, both of them have ukuleles. They like the guitar, but they didn't have a place for them. And I believe Fairy Dust has a ukulele, and I believe Box Van D does as well. I can't picture myself out there with a ukulele. I never learned the guitar, but I think you're pretty smart lady, and you will figure out if that's really something you want. You'll figure out where to put it.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to entertain the group.
So somebody's got to entertain the birds.
That's right. Well, they are part of the birds. And let's say hello to Camping Katie and to Kaylee. Kaylee says hello to you. And thank you, Camping Kaylee and Kaylee, for both coming in today. And Kaylee just got the notification. So I know that people struggle with the notification. I know that there's notifications I've not gotten, or I've gotten them late. And recently even, we're halfway through something I wanted to watch and the notification came in. So we're just talking with Raven about her camping style, and she is fixing herself a utility. No, what is it? Not a utility trailer. Cargo trailer. Yep. And it plans on being gone in November. November is the out date, so we'll just call it the exit date. And we'll have to wait till then to see what you decide you're going to be doing. Which way you're going?
Right.
Well,
there so I don't know what to say. I got a 12-string Box Van D. Wow.
Cool. Donated. You had her meet up, and Ray won. Oh boy! So Ray won that. Cool. Yeah, I never learned to play the guitar. I learned to play the saxophone and the flute, and that was it.
Wow.
I wanted to learn how to play the guitar, but when I tried, it hurt my fingers.
It does. It does. But for any musical instrument or anything, actually, there's some kind of pain involved. So I'm
True.
sure when you were playing, learning to play your flute, you had some problem there
Yeah.
with
You got to
breathing or
hold, you have to hold that baby
right.
up, you know? Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's
and your
true.
neck is probably yeah.
Hmm. The strap for the saxophone. Absolutely. Yes. Um, so I was thinking about whenever you're prepping yourself to get ready to go on the road, as you are kind of in those early, those, you got several months to go, but it's still not that far down. I'm telling you, when it came up to 6 months shy, we actually when we left and we went to Arizona, it was really the spur of the moment. And we just decided we're going today. And well, we knew we were going to go sometimes. We had stuff in our RV, but the last few days before then, we just had decided to go ahead and do it. And there wasn't a whole lot of preparation. And here's what I know from experience: make sure you have a map. Do you have a?
Yes.
Oh, what are the?
Yes.
Yes.
I have an atlas. I have an atlas and I have a state map of Nevada.
Cool. Because I did not.
Nevada is 85. Nevada is 85% BLM land or government land.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to know where it's at because I'm going to camp on it.
Right. I just had one goal, and that was to get to Arizona for Bob, and I missed him twice. I missed two interviews with him, so there was a reason for that, because I was rolling through. It took me a while to get used to driving it, but once I got used to driving it, I was rolling down Interstate 5. So when we were coming back from Arizona, and we were talking a little bit about the small town America, we were on a road that was running parallel to Interstate 5. And I didn't want to go back on Interstate 5. I wanted to stay on this other road. And had I had an atlas, I wouldn't have had the trouble that I had with going where I needed to go, is all I can say. Please, everybody, don't leave home without one. An atlas. An atlas is important.
Somebody in the comments said something about a book called The Next Exit. I've heard of that book before, but I don't have it.
Kaylee sent me one. Yes, head south and hang a left at Los Angeles. That was my plan, Raven. That's all I knew was I was going to LA and turn left somewhere prior to LA, but close to LA. Just go left. That's all that's needed.
Right.
Arizona's over there. It's to the east of Los Angeles. I'm an idiot sometimes. I'm a control freak, so I usually have everything planned out. Whatever it is I'm doing, I always get it planned out. When I was in college 10 years ago, because of my mobility disability, I would go stake out how I was going to literally get into the building, where I was going to park, and how I was going to get into the building. And I would go walk through, do a walkthrough, a dry run through it. That is how controlish I am. But in that moment, I had no control. I just said, we're going to LA and turning left. I didn't figure we could probably miss Arizona, but I suppose I could have. So fairy dust, I use it with my finger and stick it up in the air, and then I take off. That's a good way to do it. That's a good way to do it. And if you have any questions for Raven, just let us know. How does Rowley like traveling?
He doesn't. He's not crazy about although I had, when I first started out and I was using the TP tent, I had a Chevy Sonic, a little teeny thingy, which I tried to sleep in the back of, which gave me back pain for 2 weeks. And he hated that car. He refused to get in that car. I would have to pick him up and put in it. Now, for the Dodge Durango, I open the door and he jumps in. I just open the door because I want to get something out of the car. He jumps in. He wants to go somewhere, but he's not crazy about me making turns or going over bumps and things like that. But he's getting better as time goes on.
Our Patty
Yeah.
Cake did not like travel either. She did not like it, and especially towards the end, I actually felt bad that we had her with us, because she just is too. She's used to having the back door open with a screen and just coming in and out at will. And yeah, I didn't realize there was a dog that didn't like to travel, but apparently you have one too. Maybe he'll like the Durango
Yeah.
more. Maybe it's because it's bigger
Yeah, he
and he
does.
feels more room. Maybe, yeah. So I want to go back to the next exit. Kaylee sent that to me. I have a copy of it, and I wish I could get to it, but my son came in and moved stuff around in my office for the 100th time. Now I can't reach it, but we're fixing it again so we can. But it's really cool. It gives you information on what is at the next exit. That way we know, if I need a place to go to the bathroom or whatever the need is, it's at that next exit. I highly recommend that book. And I just believe that Elaine said that they travel with it too. Exit book. And we have an RV and travel interstate. Now I prefer taking back roads in my minivan, taking my time. So I think here's that delusional thinking. I still see somehow me traveling in a minivan. I don't know why. I just see it as ideal. But Richard and I are both not going to. He'd have to have one, and I'd have to have one. That's all I can say.
Right.
Yeah, we need separate minivans, and then it wouldn't be saving us any money.
Right.
Let's see. So, what kind of tips could you give people who might be thinking about doing this in the future that you have ran into?
Tips? The only thing I can really say is that you should get out and do it. I mean, you don't know if you've got tomorrow. So, or how long, go and do it. Whatever it is, whether it's travel, whether it's learning to play guitar, whether it's whatever you like to paint or whatever, do it now. Don't wait. It's a waste of time to wait. And you don't have a whole hell of a lot of time. None of us do.
Yeah. Right.
So that's the biggest thing I can say. And that's, I think, what keeps me going, because I could just as nicely sit here at this table and watch YouTube videos all day long and say, oh, wow, that's beautiful. I wish I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or one of these days I'm going to do that. No,
Right.
Today is the day, So I just keep pushing myself that way. Whether I have the means to do it now or not. I mean, I just went out and I bought a bunch of furniture at Goodwill, and instead of doing a build inside of the cargo trailer, I bolted down this furniture that I bought. Beautiful wood furniture. I mean, stuff you'd pay thousands of dollars for these days, but they're old and they got scratches on them or they're discolored, whatever, stains. They're beautiful pieces of wood. And so I've constructed my new home using that stuff. I find that I appreciate it. I like it. I like the furniture. The thing is, too, I didn't know what kind of styles I like or what colors I liked or anything, because I've always lived with someone else and done stuff for other people in conjunction with or agreement or disagreement with, but never just me. And so this is a real treat for me.
Right. Well, it's one life. We really have just one life. I think most of us understand that. And I never envisioned being 60. I know that seems so stupid, but I never envisioned being 60. And I always, for some delusion in my head, I assumed I don't know what I assumed. I just didn't see 60 ever being hit by me. And so I didn't prepare in any way. I did not prepare for anything. And so I'm just now at 60 learning how there was mistakes made, how mistakes that I did make, and in some ways very large mistakes. And and then how do I rectify those mistakes and keep moving forward, keep on moving on.
Right.
And
My
someone
daughter
just
always says to me that none of us came with the user's manual, you know?
exactly. And I'll tell you, if my mother had lived to be 90, she would have been traveling. She'd have never let one day go without doing something to make it a better day. And I feel like that in myself. I keep telling, so we came home. One of the reasons we came home was to deal with my father's house. This is my dad's home. He died a year and a half ago, and he wanted me to have it to live in. And so we're trying to do some legal things. We have some legal things we have to do in order for that to happen, because he had got a reverse mortgage on it. If he had never done the reverse mortgage, there would not be an issue. This house would be mine until I died, and the state would take it at that point. So,
right.
But we did not, COVID had hit when my dad decided to put my name on the title to the house. And it just didn't happen. So now there's all this legal stuff that has to be rectified. And maybe it won't be rectified. There's a strong chance it will not be, and I won't have a say. It will be living in my RV, whatever it is. And so one of the things that I learned living on the road for 7 weeks is what we've been able to do is one 7-week trip, is that I do need to have a bathroom handy to me. I do need that. And so living in a minivan is not in my future. It is in my dream life. It's there, but in my reality, it's not. And that I need to have a bed I can just get into and get out of, because I have had 12 back surgeries for a reason. And so I do need to have a bed I can get in and out of. But it doesn't have to be fancy, but I believe I do need, if I'm going to be married for another, we're married 37 years, I believe. We need a slide out. So it's pretty cramped when there's just 2 twin beds, the driver's seat, the passenger seat, and then the booth. The little booth. We got along fine for 7 weeks, but one day shy of leaving, I'm like, he said something to me, and I screamed something that I'm not going to share here. It wouldn't be appropriate, but at that point I was ready, because it had gotten real cramped. So there's other options, like a pop-up tent, like really the pop-ups, like a
right.
I know that the word is on the tip of my tongue.
A yurt.
Not a yurt. No, that's not a pop-up tent, Josh. No, Josh, my son-in-law, yeah, he's teasing me. No, it is called, I know someone will tell me what it is in the chat. Anyways, one of those, from smaller to big, whatever, clam, camping therapy. A clam.
Yes. I'd love one of those.
Yes, I would too.
Yeah.
I really eventually would like. So when we come back out, the likelihood that we'll have a different RV is there. There's a strong possibility that I will have a kind of more of a newer RV with a slide out. That's a possibility. I shouldn't wish for it, but it may happen, it may not. But if we had to, we could certainly live in what we have. We got along for 7 weeks.
Right.
And so that works. So let's see, where are we at? 3:51. There's some questions specifically I wanted to ask. So I think we've kind of addressed if one of the questions was, have you, so in your age bracket, have the issue that you found was simply because you weren't quite, your body wasn't quite strong enough, and that was it, correct? You didn't, have you found any age discrimination? It sounds like everybody's very welcoming in the community towards you, correct?
Oh yeah. No, I haven't had any. The only age discrimination I ever had was when I turned 60 and tried to find a new job.
Yeah.
They told me I was too old, overqualified, whatever.
Well, that's not legal for them to do, but
I
you know.
know. So they would say I was overqualified or whatever.
Yeah.
But after a while, you realize it's because of your age. They'll hire you temporary, but not full time.
Right. So you're all right. So the other thing was, I'm checking these out. I couldn't be exposed to anyone except my cat for 7 weeks. Kaylee, it's miraculous. Our son kept saying we were going to kill each other, but no, we actually got along really well. He doesn't realize when we're not in his presence, we kind of get along better most of the time. You know, we don't have him pulling at one or the other. So boondocking, you did boondocking, and that was a good experience. What about a campground? Have you been to a campground?
I live in a campground.
Okay.
Oh, you mean?
All right.
Oh, you mean like a state park kind of campground?
Yeah.
Yes, I went once. I went to Indian Grinding Rock campground in California for a couple of days, and it was very nice.
Oh, cool. I think that's one of the videos I did see. The name sounds real familiar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cool. Somebody has a thing in here about composting toilets. I did a video on composting toilets because I used one in this trailer, and I use a composting toilet all the time, actually, when I go boondocking. But for this that I've got, this last time I went camping, I used a composting toilet, but I used a commode, like a hospital chair commode kind of thing. And that was very comfortable and easy to use. And it was much easier to use than the urine diverting toilet seat insert that I have in the house.
Yeah.
And the video that's coming up this Friday, I'll be talking about the new commode and the bed that I made from the furniture that I found at Goodwill. So you might want to check that out too.
Oh, absolutely. And have you done a thumbnail for that yet?
Not yet. I haven't even done the script for that yet.
Okay.
I've been taking pictures, but that's it.
So the Commode chairs are obviously, if you have a place to put one, a Commode chair is a no-brainer. If you want to use that.
Perfect, yeah. Yes.
But I have seen
space.
Good.
So I had space.
You did have space.
Yeah, I had used the same stuff parts of the chair to make the new toilet that I've done for the furniture that I just. I made it on this style so that it works. It's very comfortable. And
I want to make sure that I covered everything specific that I wanted to ask about. And what was it like being by yourself? Are you someone who's comfortable? I mean, you live by yourself, but the whole thing of idea of camping, there's more vulnerability involved in that. How did you feel camping for the couple days as you did in the group of women?
I think I was overconfident in my safety because there were so many women around. But I had to stop and think about that because I was in Quartzsite. There were 100,000 RVers out there. That's a little city. And I felt safe amongst the 50 women that I was with. And I should not have done some of the things that I did, because just the numbers, you know. For instance, someone came and knocked on my door at night. Now, I didn't have any lights outside, since gotten some solar lights to put outside. And I just opened the door. It could have been anybody, you know, it could have been anybody doing anything. I had no way to get out of the trailer because I never unlocked the back door from the outside. You know, it was a lot of dumb stuff. I did a video on the stupid stuff I did too. You know?
That should be a video I make. The stupid stuff
you know,
I
the
do.
thing is, though, I felt fine. I felt safe. I felt fine. I felt okay. In fact, I probably felt safe, you know, just because I was with the women's caravan. Now, I don't know. I think that I would probably be a little more attentive if I was just traveling by myself. But I don't feel at this point, anyway, that it's a problem. I did travel once by myself up to Indian Grinding Rock. That was an 8-hour drive. And I slept overnight at a lake with Rowley in the car. And I left the windows open. You know, I didn't feel threatened at all. I didn't feel afraid at all. It didn't even occur to me. So I just think I'm okay by myself. I'm okay with me.
I will tell you an experience I had one time with my window rolled down. It was at a park local, a beautiful park we have here in Eugene. And I was sitting on the main road of the park that gets a lot of traffic through it. It's right on it's the Mackenzie River, I believe, that runs by our major parks. And I was just, the window was rolled down and I was laid back and I'd kind of fallen asleep. And I woke up and I was getting ready I had to go pick Richard up, and I could see, I was like squinting my eyes, there was something on my windshield underneath the wiper. And so I got out and I grabbed it and I got back in, and it was a Polaroid picture of a male penis and inviting me to come up the mountain. And I rolled my window up really fast and locked my door. When I picked Richard up, we went to the police with that picture. I get chills when I think about it now, because I felt no fear, zero fear. I felt very comfortable. It was a summer day. It was beautiful out. It's a park where people go through jogging, just a humongous amount of people. And that I put myself in, yes, Kaylee, holy crap, I put myself in huge danger, not knowing or intentionally. And it's unfortunate that I need to think that way. But the police officer that we talked to was a woman, and she says, you have no idea how lucky you are. And she says, do not do that again. So, you know, so I do think about that when I'm in a situation where it's just me. Not to say that people can't be injured when they're a couple together. I'm well aware of that. And so there was a couple a year or so ago killed down. I think and they were nomad. They were a nomad couple. It was in Texas, somewhere in Texas. I'm thinking that. Trying to remember the name of, but anyways, a couple were killed, and their rig, I think they had they had a trailer of some sort and a truck. And I could be wrong, maybe it was a Class C, but I don't think so. Anyway, they were killed, they were murdered. And so it happens, but when you consider how many people are nomads and walking around doing, living that way, and how often we even hear of that kind of thing, I think the safety I think there's a lot of safety. I think it's overall it's safe. Although I do have safety mechanism that I feel comfortable with, that I have with me when we travel. Just learning.
Noisy dog.
What's that, hun?
I said I have a really noisy dog.
I don't hear him. I thought you were talking about the bird. We have birds. They belong to my son, and they're in another
I mean, like,
room.
he's with me, and he will bark at anybody that walks by.
Okay, so there that will be an alert, a sound alarm for you.
Right.
And I did have that with Patty Cake as well. So it's nice to have a dog because they do bark most of the time to let us know someone is nearby. So is there anything else you wanted to share about your channel or about your travels or before we leave today?
Oh, about the channel. Well, I'd like more subscribers because I'm not monetized yet. I need 1,000 subscribers. So
Sure.
if you know somebody, please share my videos.
Yes.
And ask them to subscribe because I could use the bucks. And I like doing it. Well, the thing is I really like doing the channel. I like the editing. I like all of that kind of good stuff. I just don't know how to get people to see it more often or
Sure.
more of them.
Sure.
I'm still discovering. The thing is that I'm really discovering who I am and what it is that I like or don't like. Because for 75 years, I've taken care of somebody and not really paid attention to myself. So this is kind of fun. And I think that we all need to find out what we like or don't like anymore. Like, for instance, this past Thanksgiving, I cooked myself a dinner. Thanksgiving dinner with stuff that I always wanted at Thanksgiving dinner, but you know how it is. You cook for everybody,
Yeah.
and they string beans instead of peas or whatever.
Right.
And I did it over the camp stove, and it was delicious. It was full, and I think that everybody at one point in their life ought to make themselves their own Thanksgiving dinner, like that. So basically, get out and have some fun. I think that's the only reason we're here in the first place, and we just make things so damn complicated, you know.
Agreed.
So get out and do.
Do you know how many hours you have?
Hours I have
How
for
many
what?
minutes? Okay, so there's two criteria: 1,000 subscribers and
Oh,
4,000 watch hours.
yeah, I did over 5,000 hours or minutes, whatever it was, about 3 weeks ago, but I
Oh,
got less than 200 subscribers.
okay, so you've got over
So,
4,000 watch hours because that's what it is, and
yes.
the 1,000 subscribers. All right, so you're on your way. But what we need to do, if you're here today and you do not have her as a channel, as a friend, go over to her channel. Here's what I was taught: go to her channel, watch some videos, a couple videos, say hi, and she will likely do the same. And that helps. It's, reciprocity helps, the idea of reciprocity, and just watch each other videos and pass them on and recommend them to other people. So I'm going to go back and you can also, just watch her videos and then pass them on yourself. If there's people you think would like them, or excuse me, on whatever platform you use, let them know that Raven and Rowley are out there and well worth paying attention to, watching your videos. They're very interesting. I like your style. I like how you share things, and we just, you just need to get it in front of more people, and that took me time.
Yeah, how long did it take you?
Well, we were monetized in 9 months, but I made it a full-time job for a year. For that 9 months, it was all I did. There were days I did not get out of my pajamas because I was obsessed with getting monetized. It just, I just did it that way. I didn't have another life. I didn't. And so that's not normal. It's just not normal or healthy. So anyways, and so what I do, I will pass yours on to other people. And in my YouTube channel, as well, and Facebook.
Thank you.
You know, send them to my Facebook group and recommend them. And what I know and I've experienced is that it is the how people build their channel the best. I didn't understand this for a long time, but it is the evergreen material. It is the stuff that people will always need. How to, when you're 79 years old, lady, by yourself, how do you build out a enclosed trailer?
Cargo
You know,
trailer.
yeah, cargo trailer. How do you do that? So I know that, but if I were you, I would go to Box Van D's channel and I'd look at how she titles her videos. And I'm
Right.
just saying, you don't have to do it that way, but it's working. And so
Okay.
it's a good, she does somehow put her status as solo female. I don't know how she addresses her age. I think she actually says her age. I think her age is in there. And people see it right off the bat. And so if there's somebody who's older and a woman traveling alone, how do I do this? Is it even possible? They'll see your channel. They'll see her channel. And my channel. And everybody, you know, the best way to get friends, here we go, is networking, is live stream chats. Join chats and talk to people. They'll check you out. Absolutely. I'm saying I dedicated my life to being, I had certain chats where I knew there was a lot of people coming through. I wrote down their names on a piece of paper. I have I'm looking for one right now to show you, but everybody's name in that chat, and I went to their channel and I said, hey, I ran across you at whatever the name of the channel was, and you're my newest friend, because that is how it works. It is, if I'm putting somebody in right now, that is my newest friend, which I've been doing over the weekend because I watched a couple new channels. And so I'm just keep plugging at it. We'll help you along the best that we can. People here, Camping Therapy, Fairy Dust, all the people here. Let's see, we've got somebody else's name. Oh, Travel Grandma. Did you see her? Did you meet her? Okay, cool. So you know her.
I met her.
So,
I met her at
Yeah.
the campfire at the WR.
right.
I have
I knew
the stickers.
share your videos. We'll share your videos and put out what you can, and just keep plugging at it one video at a time.
Right.
And
So,
thank you so much for coming. And I appreciate you, checking in with me and wanting to do this again. I've had a couple of weeks where I didn't feel like I wasn't feeling well, and I had some doctor stuff going on, and I'm glad we got it set up and did it today. So thank you so much for coming, and I'm going to drop you down, and then I do know that you have to hit the leave studio when you're ready to go.
okay.
All right. All righty.
Okay.
You have a great
Thank you.
day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. So I know I went over a little bit here. It's 4:10. Wow, that last 10 minutes turned into 20. So anyways, thank you guys for coming. And I appreciate it as always. And I didn't see all this stuff down here. Raven is wonderful, wonderful lady. And I will be so happy when she gets to be monetized. And I have no doubt that it will happen. She's inspirational for me personally. And I do appreciate you guys showing up. Think Media. Thank you for putting that up, Kaylee. I've got a medical test going on next Monday. Colonoscopy and endoscopy to figure out the endoscopies, to figure out, you hear kind of the roughness in my voice. We're trying to figure out what's going on in my throat because it's not normal. And because I'm 60, I have to have the other as well. So we may as well do 2 for 1. Get it over with. The cocktail will put me to sleep, and I will not even know any of it happened. So be praying for me on Monday, and just miss you guys. I miss you guys. I am starting another channel, not instead of, but additional to, when I'm feeling a little better, and that is going to be a prepper channel, Lucretia the Prepper. No, it's going to be prepper, but it's not going to be crazy, and I'm excited because I think this is a time that prepper channels are needed, and I'm new. See, I'm new, and it's going to be all about going to LA and turning left. But I'm going to figure out how we do that in the prepper world. How do I go to LA and turn left and screw a bunch of things up in the prepper world? And so no scope for me. Oh, they told me, even though we have no history in my family of any problems, they just said no. They just said no. So trust me, I am dreading it. Because I'm also on a blood thinner, I have to stop taking my blood thinner and give myself this injection twice a day. It's just how it works. So yeah, the next few days are going to be so, but I'm thinking by the end of next week, I will have either another interview, just straight up, we'll just chat. We'll just see what's going on and how the world is treating each other. I thought I had COVID. I did not. I was very ill. It felt like really sick for over 2 weeks. I got out of bed, but not often. And I did the test twice and 2 negative tests. So yes, Kaylee, I know. Let's see here. I'm going camping next weekend. Cool. How's your wrist doing? I hope it's doing well. I'm glad you're getting to go camping. I should hook you up with Sherry of my son's mother. I have her. She is a big prepper. She is up in Oregon traveling. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be cool. I really believe that there is, you are awesome. Yes, I was very much stressing out, and it was new experience, and I had a vision of what I had. What's it called? Oh, it's like solar, not solar. I had tunnel vision for one thing, and it didn't happen, and it didn't happen twice. So that's how I know it wasn't supposed to happen, because it wasn't just once, it was twice. And so for some reason, I was not supposed to meet Bob when I was thinking I was supposed to meet him. And so I appreciate you guys. All right. One still has wrist still has about issues. About 10 months should be any problems, but it's there. Yeah, Richard broke his wrist in a couple places. Of all things, he was standing inside of a the big garbage cans, the big green ones, at a job site, and he was jumping on the stuff to press it down, and it fell over with him inside of it. And that's just Richard. I mean, that's just Richard. Fairy dust. We probably, yes, she's a very awesome lady. Raven, you're a very awesome lady, and we need to be friending her, watching her videos, and send them out for others. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. I will set up for next Thursday, likely Wednesday or Thursday, depending on a couple things I got to check out for myself. Make sure I have those afternoons open. So you guys stay healthy, stay safe, and I love you guys. You really brighten my day and make it feel much better on any given day I come on here. So take care of yourselves and take care of each other.